Ah, man, thank gosh that weekend's over. Rooting for the Saints? It's like the smell of gasoline. I kind of like it, but I know I shouldn't. And the Panthers now play the Saints, which might be a double-edged sword. We're going to talk about that. You know what no one is talking about? It's in a couple weeks, so I wouldn't imagine people are thinking about the future. The focus right now is the here and now. It's New Orleans. It's the Superdome. It's not having fun in a perpetually fun city if you're the Panthers. No fun. Business trip. Business trip. Bryce Young, Dave Canales coming off the bye. With discipline, you're going to need that to beat Tyler Shough. I'd never thought I would say that. I want to talk about this, though. Dave Canales versus Todd Bowles. 4 games. 4 games for the rest of your life. Coach Dave has cemented his future. Todd Bowles, he's on the hot seat. And that is a chip on the shoulder that the Panthers coach doesn't have. That's one thing that concerns me a little bit. Dave Canales is going to need to be on his A game. He can't just be checking the box knowing that his future is cemented in Carolina. It's going to take long hours after hours at work. Roll up the sleeve, turn to the wife, tell her it's going to be a late night. Because Bowles is over there in Tampa doing the same thing right now. He went for it 5 times on 4th down. 5. 5 times on Sunday against the Saints. Now, I know it was inclement bad weather in Florida. Bad, rainy, nasty weather. He still went for it 5 times. I think he feels demoralized. Tyler Shough ran all over the Bucs. Made Bowles look unprepared. The quarterback who really hasn't, he's been mobile to an extent. Now he's getting compared to Josh Allen. Thanks to the Tampa game. Todd Bowles is going to have a chip on his shoulder. And I think Tampa sees Dave Canales, who is the former offensive coordinator in 2023 in Tampa. He goes to Carolina. He's 7-6. He's at least considered in the Coach of the Year conversation. 2024, Liam Coen, he's the Jags OC. Guess what? Offseason comes. It ends very poorly in Tampa. Very poorly. They didn't even know Coen was talking to the Jags. That is nasty. He did them dirty. He was going to Jacksonville talking to the Jags owner and talking about Travis Hunter, talking about the future. Meanwhile, he's driving back to Tampa to talk to Todd Bowles. They had no idea he was going to leave, and he did. And now I think Jason Light and I think Tampa and ownership and all that, they look at the OCs around the league. They see Liam Coen doing his weird Duval. They see Dave Canales having success with a Panthers team that has been the butt of the joke for 7 years. And they go, we need one of these guys. We need an OC for a coach. We need an offensive-minded coach. Bowles is 1-3 in the playoffs. Bowles has lost 5 of his last 7. Don't underestimate Todd Bowles, don't. He's a class act great guy, worthy of head coaching position. But I'm telling you, I can see the Bucs moving on in this league that prioritizes offensively minded coaches. Coaches who play call, coaches who are integral to the offense, because Todd Bowles doesn't get enough credit for his talent evaluation at OC. It doesn't matter when you can't retain guys. When Canales is gone, then Cohen's gone. I don't know how their current guy is, but when these guys keep going, he's actually a genius. He's a Yale grad. Grizzard, I forgot his last name. North Carolina guy, genius. Had a 4.75 at Yale. I didn't even know that was possible. How do you have that high of a GPA? Like, the guys that I cheated off of in high school didn't even have a GPA that high. That's freaking unbelievable. And I didn't cheat. I was a good student. Occasionally in chemistry, though. I didn't get any of that. Team chemistry, that's going to be important. It's going to be important as the Panthers come off the bye. How do they look? Does Canales have his guys ready? Todd Bowles is going to be hungry. Even though it's a short week could bite the Tampa Bay Bucs in the butt. Short week playing the Falcons defense that is high-flying, fast, talented team. That was never the problem. Talent was never the problem for the Falcons. Hopefully they can give you a win over at the Bucs and make things a lot easier. Who knows? Let's go 4-0 if you're the Panthers. Let's go 4-0. You're going to have to stop this guy. I pulled the headlines for you because I go, this is insane. I know I was high on Tyler Shough on Monday. I felt dumb. I almost apologized to my mother. I did, because I go, Mom, I cannot believe that I was crapping on the Saints quarterback, and then he's going to come back on Sunday at 1 o'clock at Tampa, run for 2 touchdowns, outperform Baker Mayfield, completing over 65% of his passes. Here are the headlines. NFL.com, I believe this is by Kevin Patra. Tyler Shough shows it factor in Saints upset win over Buccaneers. Shough, I feel my confidence growing. NBC Sports. Tyler Shough, I feel my confidence growing every week. Fox News. So evidently they don't do politics anymore. They just cover Tyler Shough. Tyler Shough's 2-touchdown run lifts Saints over Bucs amid tight NFC South race. Like, they took a break from the White House and are talking about the Saints quarterback. The conspiracy is Tyler Shough runs for president in 10 years. After he's going to shock the football world, then he's going to shock the nation, Tyler Shough. How about this one? Tyrann Mathieu wants Saints to build around Tyler Shough at QB. This guy's on top of the world. This guy's a 16-year-old in high school getting his learner's permit. That's exactly what's going on. I got this from a Sports Illustrated article. I believe this is actually from an Odyssey show. Someone posted it on X. We just keep going down and down and down the credibility hierarchy. Where somebody posted on X, I heard it from the guy talking to the wall outside. I saw it written on the bathroom stall. That's where I got this information. We just keep regressing and regressing and regressing. Look up this for perspective, ... First 5 career starts, Josh Allen, 2018. 55.6% completion percentage. That was a big issue for Allen early in his career. 758 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 picks, 31 carries, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2-3 record for the Bills signal caller in 2018. Tyler Shough, 67.8% completion percentage, 1,084 yards, more yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 picks, 25 carries, 94 yards, 2 tutties, 2-3 record. I want to make it clear that I'm not telling you that Tyler Shough is going to be Josh Allen, but I am basically telling you that Tyler Shough is looking like Josh Allen. That's a number that gets thrown around a lot, but just perspective on this guy. Because he's won in multiple ways. You saw it firsthand in Week 10, where he came in, just threw it all over the yard. J.C. Horn fell down in coverage on the 30-yard touchdown to Juwan Johnson in the fourth quarter that made it a 2-score game. The proverbial dagger in the Panthers' earlier matchup against the Saints. He hit some big throws, though. He was on target. Kellen Moore doesn't care. He's not restricting this quarterback by any means. And I know he caught a lot of slack for being 26 years old as a rookie. He's putting his money where his mouth is. He looks developed. He looks like he can make all the throws. Maybe he's a low ceiling, high floor guy. I don't know what he's going to be long term. I'm not telling you he's Josh Allen, but this is the story on him right now. We're going to talk about Tyler Shough a lot more. I want to talk about this. Dave Canales. Here's Dave Canales on the Bucs game that he found himself watching. If you haven't seen the clip, here it is.
Close are you? How closely did you monitor the game yesterday? Were you glued to the Saints upset?
I was watching the game, yeah. Wanted to make sure that I was connected to the story of it. I got to be honest, I got a little emotionally involved in the game, at times. And, it's something I try to, remind our players is like, hey, watch these games. Let's try not to get too, emotionally connected. But how can you not? It impacts all of us in this division. And certainly it impacts us going into this week with another division opponent.
If I could look as good as Dave Canales in a quarter zip, I'd wear them all the time. I would. That guy looks great. He could model for Panthers.com if he wanted to. I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't already doing it. Seriously. He looks great in the quarter zip. I wish I could rock one that way. Why is Dave Canales so bought in? He said he's quote unquote connected to the story of it. Connected to the story of it. I've never heard the coach use that wording. Connected to the story of the Saints versus Bucs. Why? Why? Well, I think he looks at Todd Bowles and goes, this 4-game stretch could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. In other words, if I go and beat out this coach that I used to work for, my boss 2 years ago. So put yourself in his shoes. You get a new job and then you beat your boss and you get your boss fired 2 years later. Imagine that. I guarantee there's so many people out there that have had a job that they didn't enjoy and they go, I can go and get my old boss that I didn't like fired? Like, what? Would it like it's like that's just the ultimate revenge character arc. And I don't think Dave Canales has really bought into that emotion of it. And he specifically tells you that there. It's like, I'm not really, I'm sensitive to the emotion of it, but I try not to let it take advantage of me, is a paraphrased way of him telling you what he's saying. I think he looks at his old coach and goes, this could be the end for him if I come out here and beat you down the stretch. And if we beat the Saints and then we beat the Bucs, and then whatever happens in the last 2 games happens and we win the division, it's a little more complicated than that, but you make the playoffs, the Bucs don't. I think he sees the weight of that. And I think he sees Bowles going for it 5 times and then watches the press conference after the game, like we showed in the Monday program, where Bowles looks demoralized and goes, wow, Canales did not beat the Bucs in 2024. That could be another narrative. He wants to go out there and beat his old boss. Take the spite out of it. Take the negative emotion out of it. He just wants to go and show the guy that he's come a long way. It's amazing. For Bowles, though, I'm telling you, that guy's going to have an edge. Because there's been so many attempts at the throne, and now you're the king looking around going, yeah, we lost 5 of the last 7. This could be it. Coen went to Jacksonville. He's dancing and screaming in the locker room, killing it. Canales is doing his thing. Now he's about to beat me in the divisional race. I'm reading about the Roman Empire, and I think it was it Julius Caesar? They just kept trying to kill him a million times, and then eventually someone succeeded. Someone succeeded. And Canales, Coen, they didn't get the job in Tampa. But there was turnover, and ownership looks around. They go, these OC turned coaches, they're pretty cool. We had the guy from Yale with a 4.75 GPA. He doesn't call plays. He calls them via Neuralink. He puts a chip in Baker Mayfield's brain and calls the plays. He's on the sideline like moving his arms around. He's got one of those freaking helmets on that has a bunch of the sensors on his arms, and he just controls the quarterback remotely. He has a freaking 4.75 GPA at Yale. You bet he does that. Bowles can smell it. He knows it's coming. And I'm not making this up. This is real reporting from Tampa. You have a quarterback. The defense is aging. There's been some inconsistencies on that side of the ball. It's not as talented as it once was. The flashy offensive coach. That's what's in style. Much like the quarter zip that Dave Canales rocks so eloquently. But first, the Saints. Not the connection the Panthers coach has to his former boss, but the team that you're going to have to dethrone. And it's looking that way. I don't view the Saints as a 3-10 team. I don't. And things have changed since they were a 1-win team, I believe, coming into week 10 against the Panthers. Beat the Panthers, beat the Bucs. They have 3 wins now. Doing math on the fly. When they were the 1-win Saints, I told you verbatim, I was very nasty. Not nasty, but I was harsh on the team. The quarterback changes it for me. So I call a spade a spade. I'm tough on the Panthers quarterback. I think if Bryce Young was dynamite all the time, I would say this is one of the best teams in football currently. With the Saints, I don't think they're close to that roster-wise. They're an aging roster. They're going to have to be in the market, the draft probably. They got some picks in that Shough trade, Trevor Penning trade. They traded him to Los Angeles, the Chargers, who are in the AFC fighting for a playoff spot. This is the team that's rebuilding. They're going to need pieces on defense. I think the O-line is pretty good. They have some young pieces on that offensive line. Olave is nasty. He is freaking awesome. One of the best receivers in football. Catching it with one hand in Week 10. Panthers lose to the Saints 17-7. This was a roster that unequivocally I thought was on the down and down. Well, with Shough, they could be on the up and up. Because now they're not bound to taking a quarterback in the draft. They don't need to play quarterback roulette, where every year they're in the market for a quarterback. You know it all too well, 2020 through 2023. And even through current, honestly. The Panthers paying guys like Bridgewater, trading picks for guys like Darnold and Young. And you still don't have the guy. Well, Shough fell into their hands. And I'm not saying he's a perfect quarterback or he's a million times better than Young or any of that. But they have a guy who can at least right the ship. It's not Spencer Rattler out there. It's not the Browns who are playing Shedeur Sanders or the Titans playing Cam Ward behind no offensive line. It's not one of those things. They can at least keep the ship afloat. And if they have a quarterback with that O-line, I'm telling you, the Saints are 2-3 coming to this game. 2-3 in their last 5, not 3-10. The 3-10 is no indication of how good this team is. Do not sleep on the Saints. Do not. Especially with Kellen Moore calling those plays. He's been fearless. He does not care at all. I think Canales has been great this season. I think the relationship between Kellen Moore and Tyler Shough is one to be envied. He lets the quarterback go out there and just do it. Just throw it. You make a mistake, whatever. I'm confident I can build your confidence and call the right plays. Build your confidence that way. I'm just going to let you go out there and do your thing, Shough. And it's working well. It's working well. I want to talk about this quickly, then we're going to go to the last Dave Canales clip. I saw a lot of comments on this. Friday, we're doing a whole comment show. I'm going to try it out. All comments. I'll bring some stuff, obviously, some wording and maybe clips if needed. But it's going to be all comments, agenda-free. It's been the radio standard for years. Agenda-free on the tone Friday. We're trying it out. So behave yourself. Or put something funny in the comments so I can read it. But not too funny, because I don't want to get in trouble. But like really funny. You know the line. You know the line better than anyone. You can roast the host. You can do it. Just don't roast him too bad. Don't be like that one guy that goes, Tone, you talk in the third person way too much that I cringe so bad it hurts. That's literally what he said. As if he has some sort of condition where it's like, I say my name in the third person and he cringes so bad the phone like breaks in his hand. And he sounded like someone who's bought a lot of phones in the past few weeks. We feel really bad for that guy. So I'm going to make a conscious effort to stop talking the third person. But hopefully you're not that guy. Hopefully you're not that guy who breaks his phone every day. The Tone said the Tone, he called himself the Tone. And his phone just shatters. And you can't go in the mall and fix it for $50 anymore. That's not covered under Apple insurance. Sorry about it. How about Dave Canales? 7-6 after being on the hot seat. I keep seeing that go around. I don't think this guy was ever on the hot seat. I don't. I think this season he wasn't. In 2024, yes, where they had 2 wins before that stretch before the bye and after the bye in 2024. Yes, Canales was on the hot seat. Yes, there was that video on Panthers.com. I believe it was Blueprint where he's in the stadium. Who is he with? Is it with Thomas Davis? I don't know. He's walking around the stadium with someone and they go, yeah, you felt the heat, didn't you? And then Canales goes, yeah, I have Bryce to thank for that. Bryce Young bailed the quarterback, the coach out rather, playing really well down the stretch. I think they're committed to Canales. I think he has a seat at the table personnel-wise. I think He's tasked with building the roster. I think it goes really far. His relationship building skills with Evero, a guy who was considered the head coach of the defense, has no working relationship or history with Canales. Canales mended that relationship to the point where now you look at the Panthers coaching staff and go, yes, there might be some issues with play calling, but the leadership generally hasn't been questionable, and you have two high-performing coordinators. At least Evero is at the top of his game, and Canales, you can say what you want about him. The collaboration, the culture, the roster decisions that he takes a lot of credit for. I go down the list. Rico Dowdle, Tetro McMillan. Those two come to mind off the top of my head. Mike Jackson, a guy that he has a prior relationship with. He's 1-1 with Dan Morgan in that front office. It's amazing that the Panthers are here. It is amazing. And Canales has cemented his long-term future here already. Bowles and Tampa has not. So is he going to go out there and take what is the Panthers, or has he checked the box already? And I'm not saying he has, but a lot of us know that feeling. The task is done. You've already achieved quota. You've already sold enough, right? You've already sold enough quarter zips on Panthers.com. You've already done it, Dave. You have 7 wins. You're here for 2026. Are you going to book an Airbnb, or are you going to go coach football and stay late and do all that? Let's see. Here's Dave Canales talking about when the Panthers are at their best and remarking on Bryce Young's consistency.
What do you want to see out of Bryce these last 4 games?
Just continue to lead, keep pushing our concepts forward, finding ways to protect some of our core concepts in the run game and the pass game, and just lead the charge that way in terms of just getting us to the right play. And for the whole group, just the execution, and to watch a group on the offensive side really start to find some chemistry and some rhythm, to be able to just continue to build off of that this week.
So I have half the show sitting in front of me still. I forgot to get to a lot of these talking points, so let's make them quick. Let's go. I find that wording interesting. Can Bryce get us to the right play at the right time? Can he do that? I think the play calling argument with Canales, and a lot of people, they told me last week, they said, you're being not critical enough on Canales' play calling. Maybe I criticize the quarterback too much. I ultimately think it comes down to Young. I think there's opportunities to be had. You can see it. You can see one-on-one opportunities outside. And the difference between them winning these games and losing these games a lot of the time is Young's ability to throw downfield. And when that vertical passing game, like a light switch, is on, Young is sitting in the pocket. You literally can see it come over this guy. It's like an aura shift. You can see it. He's smooth in the pocket. He moves around. He's not looking at Ekwonu, missing his assignment. He's just chill, breathing, lax back there, moves around. Maybe he even steps up. Maybe he rolls out, whatever it is, and he throws the ball. And it's not arm talent. It's not even the play call. It's just, is the quarterback comfortable back there? The DTA, decision-making, timing, the accuracy. Are those things on? Accuracy, you can say, has been an issue for him. That has been inconsistent. Canales goes, can Young get us in the right play? That is when this offense is most consistent, according to the Panthers coach. Let's put our differences aside if we have any differences in opinion. In other words, if you're blaming Canales, if you're blaming Young, that doesn't matter. Who you blame more, that's just nonsense at this point. This is what matters. Can they figure out the passing game down the stretch? Because I think long-term, and I'm going to talk playoffs, and that's all I'm talking. But one long-term talking point right now is Dave Canales is your coach of the future. What happens to the pass game? Because I think if Young is inconsistent or doesn't perform well, regardless of what happens, I think there's a serious conversation to be had in the offseason about the future of the play calling, the OC specifically, whatever Will Herringer does as the quarterback's coach. He's been here for 2 seasons. What happens to Idzik? What happens to the quarterback coach? What happens to these guys? Because that has been much of the same. And I think if you're still seeing some of the same issues with Young, that is the takeaway. I think there's a serious conversation to be had between Tepper and the coach. Like, hey, you've done these culture things right. You've brought in some good, like-minded, high-value individuals that you like. You've won with the run game. You have these guys tackling. Mike McDaniel didn't have the guys tackling. Brian Schottenheimer didn't have the guys tackling. You're doing a lot of things right, Dave. Why should we be confident in the pass game moving forward? If I'm Canales, I say, well, look, I'm responsible for the receivers. I'm calling all the plays. I'm the culture guy. I'm in the draft room with Morgan. And I just have all these responsibilities, and I guarantee you if you give me one more year, I'll be okay. But I think if you're Tepper, if you're other people in the organization, you go, look, we're going to bring someone else in. And whether that's replacing Will Herringer, who doesn't have an existing relationship with Canales, he most recently worked with Caleb Williams in 2022, also was the quarterback's coach with the Cowboys. And that was in 2023, I believe Dak Prescott was really good in that season, if I'm not mistaken. And Herringer actually has a relationship with Young through a quarterback's camp with Young back in the day. So he's more of a Young guy than a Canales guy. Idzik, a Canales guy from Tampa. Someone he has a prior relationship with. I think if you're Tepper long-term and you see the Panthers pass game continuing to struggle down the stretch, what you say is we're probably not getting a new quarterback. We're probably not at the top of the draft. We're probably not trading up to get whoever it is, Dante Moore or Mendoza. The free agent market is crap. It's like trying to find toilet paper during COVID. It's empty. There's nothing there. So what can you control if you're the Panthers? I named Tepper specifically because I think he's involved in this decision, but generally people in the organization. What can you control in 2026? If the pass game struggles, you can hire a new quarterbacks coach. You can hire a new OC. Those are two things you can do. You can get another voice in that room. It's been the same guys here since 2024. That is what Canales is coaching for. That is his edge. That is his edge. Is his play calling responsibilities. Are they going to get redacted? Are they going to bring another voice in the room? A consultant. You never want a new guy at work. Come on, you've been working with Idzik and Will Herringer for 2 years. You think Canales wants a new voice in the room? Oh, that's awful. You've been talking crap about Tepper for 2 years with these people. Now you can't. Now the new guy walks in the room and you go, hey, Steven. Hey, buddy. I'll see you guys later, okay? Hey, how was your weekend? It's all awkward. It's all awkward if you have a new guy in the room. He doesn't want that. Come on. He doesn't want that. That's what he's coaching for. So maybe Canales does have an edge over Bowles. He doesn't want a new guy in there. He wants his people. And to his credit, he's been really good at not working with his people, i.e. Evero, a guy that he didn't have a prior working relationship with. Can Bryce Young get us to the right play? Or is it my play calling that sucks? Well, a lot happens in those last 15 seconds before the play clock expires. The quarterback controls a lot at the line of scrimmage when he can't hear from his coach. As the play clock dwindles down, Young has to make a decision. The DTA. The DTA. One last moment, and then we're going to go Tyler Shough versus Bryce Young. The story of Tyler Shough is something that we all can learn about because I'm just going to plant the seed now. A quarterback can fall to you in the draft. Sometimes quarterback, it's a lot like love. It comes in unexpected ways and unexpected places. Sometimes you're sitting in the second round at 40th overall and you just end up drafting a 6'5" guy from Louisville. Sometimes that happens. It just, you never would have thought this would have happened, and now we've been in the league for 50 years. Tyler Shough is freaking president of the United States. shocking the football world and the nation. It's amazing. This is The Tone. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has been an amazing program. We have the comment show coming on Friday. Very excited for it. The world is our oyster. I'm telling you, that could be an amazing, just awesome, sick program because it's a lot like letting your dog off the leash. And I'm the dog, where we're going to let him off the leash, let him go. And if he behaves himself, then we're good to go.